I hope you're well. Hope you're keeping safe and well, especially at home at the moment, because it is very, very hot out there. I know at the moment back in England, and dangerously so, isn't it? I mean, I've just seen on the news, like, seen people getting dragged off trains and stuff, like typical London, isn't it? You know what I mean? Trains getting delayed and there's no bloody windows open and all that kind of stuff. It's just horrible to see. And I know, just hope you're all well, because as much as we like the sunshine and the warm weather at times, bloody hell, when it gets too hot, it can be quite dangerous. So yeah, I just hope you're all well and keeping safe. A little bit different here. Of course, it's bloody hot here, but you've got the aircon and swimming pools, things like that. Do you know what I mean? To deal with it. Back in England, it's tough. So I know it's just hope you're all right and just make sure you're taking all the sort of precautionary measures to keep safe and that your family's safe, etc. So a couple of things I want to talk about quickly. Got a bit of an update in terms of transfer stuff, so I'm just going to quickly do that in a minute. First of all, I just want to quickly mention about the club. The club have come out, put their latest message out of pleading poverty again and moaned about the financial situation and saying that we're not close to signing anyone and all this stuff. And it's just, I put up a tweet. The reason I mentioned it is because I basically put up a message earlier on X and just said, look, I'm so sick and tired of hearing this, and I feel like fans, we just don't deserve this. Do you know what I mean? We deserve much better from our owners. We don't need to keep hearing this constant negative message. It's like, do you know what I mean? We've not been through enough, and it doesn't seem to be stopping, does it? It's almost like a daily reminder. Well, let's put out another message, reminding the fan base of how crap things are. I just don't want to keep hearing it. But what I noticed as well is a couple of comments on it, right? And I understand this is a very small percentage of West Ham fans, and I don't really, people that are quite abusive, I don't really consider them in that group. I've always been kind of very, I turn away from all of that. Like, I've got no time for it. When people are just really personal and nasty towards people, I can't stand it. At the end of the day, we're all West Ham fans, and we all want what's best for the football club. Don't matter who you are, you know what I mean? Hammers Chat, us, Claret and Booze, Nick, everything, you know what I mean? All West Ham fans who want the same thing. I just can't stand that sort of stuff. And people have asked me about the situation with Gonzo recently because he got a lot of stick for it. And that's what's made me sort of talk about it a little bit, because I'm going to be honest, I've kind of detached myself a little bit from West Ham news recently because I've just been away. And I think after that last season, I've just sort of felt like I've needed a little bit of a breather from reading West Ham, getting too absorbed by it too much. So I'm only getting the news to get from X and then put it out, and then I'm kind of switching off a little bit from it. As I say, then I turned on my phone today and straight away I saw this negative message, hence why it prompted that. But a lot of people basically are directing their anger towards, I think, fan channels and ITKs and things like that. And I think a lot of it stems from the fact that people are very frustrated, very angry at the club, and I get that, totally understand it. But I just feel like, to be personal and nasty towards people, it's so not necessary. Really nasty, it's not needed. Like, Gonzo's had it really, really bad recently, and it's horrible. And I love the bloke. You know what I mean? He's been so good to me, and he's a good friend of mine. So, and he's, I know he's doing fine now, and he's just having a bit of a breather, and he's coming back shortly. So that's which is great. But yeah, it's just nasty. People have asked me to sort of comment on that and what my views are. And my views are basically, like I've said, I just don't really have any time for these sort of people. I respect everyone what they do for West Ham. I respect all West Ham fans as general. You'll love each other deep down. Do you know what I mean? Every time you bump into someone that's a West Ham fan, I'm an oddity, there's a few here. Do you know what I mean? And it's great. You have a good chat about football. We all have a bit of a moan and then talk about next season. But we all sort of we're a real special group, I think, West Ham fans. And it's just nasty when you see people. I think people forget that people like Sean and X and Gonzo, these people that communicate with the club to put out the news, they're getting sort of like really personally attacked for it. At the end of the day, they're only putting out what the club have told them. Do you know what I mean? That's the news they get. They're asking for the news, they're telling them, and they're then relaying it for the fans. That's it. They don't need to be attacked for it. You know what I mean? It's nasty, and I just think, it's just not the world. Life's too short for all that sort of stuff, in my opinion. It's horrible. I hate it. I respect everyone what they do. Even like me and Nick at Claret and Blues, right? We've a couple of years back, we had a little bit of a tiff online. Nothing major. I don't walk under the bridge, to be honest. But I respect what he does. You know what I mean? And he works hard, and I know how hard it is to do a channel. And even if your views aren't the same, it'd be boring if they're all the same. You don't want everyone to be exactly the bloody same, do you? Do you know what I mean? It's what makes the world interesting. You want people to have different opinions. Like, it's for instance, on this channel, right? If I get abuse or anything like that, I just take them. You just remove them from the channel, or just you can't comment anymore, because I want the community to be one that its fans can interact and enjoy and debate. I like debate. I'm not saying I only want people to come on and agree. Like, I definitely don't want that. That'd be really dull. I like people to go, hang on a minute, I don't agree with this, but bring up a conversation about it. Don't, and happy to debate everything. But it's when it's nasty, it's horrible, and no one deserves it. And so that's my views on it. I've got no time for any of it, and I just think that I think as a collective, I still think as a collective, right? As in general, as West Ham fans, I think we're brilliant, best fans going. Do you know what I mean? I've got a great sense of humour about things, but at the moment things are very negative in general, and I just think there's a real heightened tension at the moment, and I just think that people are directing it at the wrong people, to be honest, rather than being frustrated with the club. They're sort of going, well, I can't have a go at Sullivan, so I'll have a go at Sean and whatever, or X, whatever. And I just think it's not needed. It's horrible. So yeah, that's my views on that anyway. So I just wanted to say something on it because people have asked me what my thoughts are, of course, and looking forward to seeing Gonzo come back, actually, because it's not the same without him on YouTube, certainly not, and he's a good pal of mine, and I know he's having a nice break, and he bloody deserves it as far as I'm concerned, and as I say, that's my view on things anyway. Right, on to West Ham anyway. Let's talk about a bit of the update in terms of news. Mario Stroeykens, the Anderlecht midfielder, 20 years old, attacking midfielder. He's been reported by X now to be a player of serious interest, I believe, at the moment for the club. So I think Leeds United are in for him as well. I think they've made him a top target, so it's not as if we're definitely getting to him. But you've got to think, if West Ham and Leeds are up against each other, you'd like to think we've got a little bit more, just because we're probably a little bit more established in the Premier League. But having said that, we know our situation. We keep bloody hearing it. I don't want to keep. We need to sell before we can buy. That's all we keep hearing. So I'm not suggesting that I'm confident. I'm certainly not confident of anything at the moment. But that's the latest news in regards to him. I'm just going to quickly read what X has said. As we exclusively reported previously. Right, exclusively reported previously. Right, the Belgian market is one the club are exploring, with the French market too being one that we are looking at closely. We understand the club have identified Anderlecht attacking midfielder Mario Stroeykens as a player that we could well be set to target this summer. Furthermore, also, we reported about these players before, but also we hold a very serious interest still in Raphael Onyedika of Club Brugge, and Kone De Winter of Genoa. Now, Kone De Winter of Genoa is an interesting one, because of Genoa, of course, are keen to sign Max Cornet. I mean, Christ almighty. I mean, he went out on loan there and was injured most of the season, but apparently they're still keen to sign him. I mean, we ain't going to get much for him, but it'd be nice, wouldn't it, to get him off the bloody books? And apparently we're in dialogue with Genoa at the moment, I understand. So I'm hoping as well that could kind of pave the way for De Winter to come. I'm hoping that's going to be the case, but because we've held an interest in him for quite some time. But again, these players have all linked with other clubs as well, so it's not as if we're just going to get a comfortable stroll to get anyone. Yes, that's what the latest is. But the main one being, as I say, it's Mario Stroeykens is the one that's kind of not the new name, because it has been mentioned previously loosely before, but it's a little bit more firm now that we are very keen. So hoping we might get a little bit more movement on that. Of course, player sales we're looking to get moving forward. Naya Gerd seems to be the most likely, I think, to be sold soon. I feel like his likely destination, it appears to be Italy. Roma and Juventus apparently are opening their bids to get him, believed to be sort of the region of about 17 million quid. I think West Ham will take about between 20-ish, 20, 21, 22 million. I think that's what we'll end up going with when it comes to selling a Gerd. We need to get on and sell players, because the second we sell these players, then we can get on with our business, and let's be honest, we need to. We've got a lot of work to be done this summer, so I do feel like a sale is going to happen quite soon. I think a Gerd will be the first one. Of course, we're looking to offload Kudus. I don't know the latest on that at the moment. As I said, when I did my last talked about him, I felt that the link with Spurs was unlikely. I just don't see West Ham doing business with Spurs. I really don't. I don't want us to do business with Spurs. I don't want to see him go there at all. My gut feeling is probably going to be Chelsea where he ends up, but that's just my gut feeling on it. I'd much rather him go abroad. Obviously, Saudi would be ideal because we can get far more money from there, but he's not interested in going. So he's likely he's going to be in the Premier League. I think Chelsea is probably going to be his destination. But they've even come out and said Chelsea, I think it was their manager, came out and said they're after a winger, so I think that indicates that Kudus is going to be a big target for them. So that's my gut feeling. That's what I think he'd end up going, but who knows? But yeah, so that's where we are at the moment. Stroeykens is the latest. That's the player that we're being linked with. Hopefully we get a bit more in terms of concrete. It'd be nice to see a little bit more movement, wouldn't it, soon? But yeah, that's where we are at the moment. And look, take care, keep safe out there, and try and keep yourselves cool as best as you can, and drink plenty of water. Kill on your irons.